I have actually begun. So,
All right, cool. I'm going to finish getting this set up. I believe our audio's coming through. I think it is. I'm going to make a couple things disappear real quick.
about 8 months ago, I went on Amazon and I bought a cable for a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, can you currently see the stream right now? The video.
I can.
Okay. Let's see. For specifically for this camera,
Uh-huh.
which is a Sony A350. So that I could connect it to my computer and download the software needed to use this as a webcam. So that for doing things like this, the painting and small stuff and leather tooling and stuff like that, I could set up I could have this camera as my face cam and have this camera set up on my work.
Yep.
And I can't find the fucking cable, so I'm gonna have to buy it again.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's like $8.
Yes, but still, it's annoying. Anyway,
That.
hello, Internet. Much like last time, there will be some work in progress going on the layout of this. Gonna be doing mini painting again. Knox has a close up. I am not, simply for space, and I don't want to paint on my actual computer desk. But welcome to the second episode of Toolkits, a podcast slash vlog that we where we paint or build or make something, because the majority of TBA's crew are actually makers as well as D&D players. So this week or this month, I am still painting minis because I think the outtakes with the Phasmophobia video will be coming out soon. There is a whole thing where there's one house full of Tupperware containers, and Topher was like, "Hey, come look, Hewitt, come look." And I was like, "All right, ghost evidence." He's like, "I found all your minis." And I'm like, "You son of a bitch." I can't say that.
Hey,
Patty's a saint. Patty is an absolute saint. She is a wonderful woman. But he's an asshole.
I mean, yes, he is in fact.
But
I
to
mean,
be
we all know him.
But to be fair, in our circle of friends, "Hey asshole" is a term of endearment. So
It absolutely is. It's kind of that is in fact kind of a thing.
it's the thing with
So,
us. It's like, "Hey asshole." 5 of us turn around. What? Not even mad. Just what?
yeah.
So that is.
So to just as a kind of a thing, that's bright as hell. Let's see if I can get this guy actually in focus so that he's actually able to be seen. So, come on, you can do it. Let's try this.
We have faith in you.
I mean, you would be so that's one. Move this out the way. All right, I'm gonna grab this. Let's see if we can do it this way. So, come on, you can do it.
Who is this grody looking little beautiful gentleman?
There he is. So this is one of the Flesh Eater Court models. I'm currently working on painting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them and their boss dude. So, but the thing is, you see how this guy's holding a skeleton arm?
Yeah.
I also have like 20 skeletons from the Soul Blight Gravelords kit.
Yeah.
Which means I have skeleton hands holding weapons. I am
No.
highly thinking about potentially. See if I. You know what? Let's try a better, different light source.
Yeah, I'm probably about to. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to change out my light because I got the pink light on because sometimes that looks better when we play. It is terrible for actually painting minis.
Okay, that's not terrible. You can't really see it. But yeah, I have a large stock of skeleton hands holding swords, and I'm highly considering cutting the hand off of this guy and gluing on a hand with a sword, and instead of this guy doing uh, uh, a claw attack with slashing and a bone arm attack and a bone arm club attack for bludgeoning, I actually do slashing and do actual longsword damage with him.
Nice. I fully support this. I have in the cabinet that's directly behind my head, that is our art cabinet. So amongst other odds and ends, it currently has all the sprues that have extra sprue parts, which
Yeah.
are the big bloated belly, like regular base level demon minis that are nice and grody.
Mm-hmm.
That I think they're the same ones that work in Warhammer 40K. I think it's the same set for these guys because they just carry terrible little stone swords. And I got some leftover sprues of them, some sprues of dwarf steampunky floaty boys with their guns.
Yeah. The ironclad guys.
Yeah. And also I got leftover sprues of those same skeletons. Oh, and dryad sprues. Fucking hate those dryad minis. They're so good now that they're together.
Mm-hmm.
I hated putting them together.
That tracks. Let's see, where is?
See, right now I am painting what Bones minis calls the Pillar
Mm-hmm.
of Good. I thought I'd grab the Pillar of Greed. So I am just giving this thing a base coat of this was it, Wraithbone white, so that I can get that little bit off white, similar to like I'm gonna try to make it look like it's mostly marble. Gonna give it a nice dingy wash,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back and dry brush it. Since it's a piece of terrain, I am not super concerned with a ton of details. I might here in a minute paint some of it gold in places, but
I will say this on as far as golds go, um, I've used a couple of different metallics, painting and doing stuff like that. Bruh, the uh, that's uh, I have yet to find one that is as good as straight up Citadel's Retributor armor.
that is what is sitting in front of me.
It is. It's just.
Right,
It's just. It's
right here.
yeah. It is a really. It's a. It's not a super shiny. It's more of a dull gold, but it's still got very rich color to it. Um, I am going to add a drop of this gray in this. Man, it, and I'll tell you this much. I have found this out as well. Um, which one is it? It is. the new Flesh Terrors red contrast paint.
Mm-hmm.
I am talking like it. When I finished using it, it looked like I had cut myself. It is the perfect shade. It is the perfect shade of blood red.
I really like blood for the blood glod, or blood for the blood glod, blood for the blood glob.
Yeah, blood glob.
Oh, behold the blub gob. I really like.
Good.
I like using that one. I have also learned if you thin blood for the blood god down, works really good to put over clear minis to do as the base for fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this: one of the only things you might hear me complain about right now is I absolutely love Bones minis, Reaper minis. I love these things.
What's that? You kind of my internet kind of decided it wanted to take a break for a second.
Oh, I absolutely love Bones minis, Reaper minis,
Yeah.
because okay, like WizKids makes a bunch. So if I need this, great. If I need to buy in bulk, buying Games Workshop, sometimes for like, oh, I need a dozen freaking dryads. It is more cost effective to buy that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: Bones has some of the most unique designs for minis, and I absolutely
Mm-hmm.
love them. Because
Apparently, this is a few. This like it was a few. Probably about a year or so ago. Apparently, WotC is going to be doing some D&D some D&D minis in plastic, like as in kits, like old school, like Warhammer style kits.
mm-hmm.
And that kind of piques my interest a bit.
Little bit. I mean, I'm not like, don't get me wrong, I'm not super Games Workshop because their shit's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But with that price tag, sometimes it's, not.
Yeah, with that price tag, it fucking better be.
But it's one of those of, this is beautiful. It's not that beautiful. If I was going to, like, if we ever made it, like, big with TBA and, like, I needed a big BBEG, I would warrant the money.
Yeah.
Like, I would buy $150 Damon Prince and kit bash it so that I had like a massive freaking Orcus to drop on the table, not just the acrylic Orcus that you can get, or the one I've seen inside the blind boxes to where it's like, yeah, it's big, but it's not like Orcus is just
it's a large size. It's basically a large size creature model.
with an oversized base.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not, if that's what you got to do, I'm not saying anything negative about it. It's just that my thing is very rarely like sitting back where is it, on top of my display shelf over there, I finally finished Babushka Werewolf Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I warranted paying $50 for that mini was because it's going to be a major player in the Avernus game that I'm running.
Yeah.
And so I don't mind in a situation like that, but like I do not have the income to warrant those type of regular purchases.
Correct. I have income tax is the only reason that I have the 2-star collecting boxes that I do. And income tax is like I think income tax very well may end up being Kyle's going to buy Warhammer Warhammer figs to do. But I've decided to sit down and really put my brain to it, and ultimately, I don't play Warhammer. Would I like to? While yes, I would like to play. That is not going to be feasible, at least for a couple of years. So I'm not gonna super stress over it.
You know,
However,
I'm
I
going to
have
put my
found
beer
with
over
these.
here so I don't put paintbrushes in it. I'm
Yeah,
listening.
that's probably good. I am. I've also found that I really enjoy putting together minis and painting them. Like I enjoy painting, but there's something about putting the damn things together that is a that is something that I hadn't really messed with before. Like I did model a couple of car models when I was a kid, but I didn't give a shit about cars. It was just something that me and a friend of mine did, that I did because a friend of mine was into it. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, and I enjoyed kind of putting things together. Um, so I literally sat down on the Games Workshop website with a notepad open, going, okay, looking at 40K, what models can I pick up that I can use in D&D? Because they're there. I mean, you've got plenty of. I mean, I'm not like not the orcs because well, you've got the orcs and Sigmar, so that's the thing. However, you've got melee units from. You've got units that work very well in as melee or magic units in D&D, up to and including like Mephiston from the Blood Angels, the current chapter master. He's there. His newest model is him holding a bolter, holding a pistol. His previous model is him holding a sword down to his side, pointing ahead of him. It's a gorgeous model. It has no real discernible tech that can't be explained away by my bullshit. Like the jump packs. Well, I mean, it's very simply a small arcane combustion that takes place in the backpack that allows for a decent range, uh, basically short hop. You know, I have ways to explain some of the baseline tech like the jump packs and stuff like that. Maybe not so much some of the weapons, but I mean chainswords. I mean, who doesn't love chainswords? Who doesn't love chainsaw swords
I
and
bought
chainsaw axes?
I bought a the oh god, the Infernal chapter. He's got horns growing out of his head, has these giant candles blasting out of his back, and he's holding a book that's partially catching fire. And it comes with
Uh huh.
one dude with like what looks like a massive tome on his back, and another one swinging a skull that's like a brazier, or whatever you call the fancy potpourri ball in the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
I bought him because he's not carrying a gun, and I'm going to throw him in Avernus.
Oh yeah, and the world eaters would be a great chapter of Space Marines to use for that purpose. Uh, a lot of them are you can find like especially like some of the heavy units uh, that you can use for uh perfect that you can use in that scenario for that. I'm using like that Mephiston is going to basically end up being the king of the vampire faction in my game, or potentially buying at this point, while I still got my map up, I can tell you exactly. That is not the way I want to do. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I get 7. I can paint Space Marines in 7 different chapters and have them be the 7 factions of the Barbarian Empire in my game, which is hey everybody, tune in next week and you'll find out what the fuck that is.
Yeah, next week we'll be on our bonus roundtable. Spence and I will be helping Knox with world building.
But essentially for kind of early access stuff, the Barbarian Empire, the Emperor died, and in his will he set out that each of his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each of his 6 children would inherit a section of the empire. He cordoned off 7 different principalities for his children. They took them over there, and while they are beholden to the empire, they are their own nations, and just let them go. And some of them are good, some of them are good, some of them are bad. Some of them, and most of them named them after themselves. Because
ego.
Because ego, the ego of nobility. So that I could easily run into. I could easily have. There are 20 factions of Space Marine. So I could, considering the fact that they're all coming from the same place, each different faction of Space Marines has enough aesthetic differences that they would be able to be I could use them as guards for that. They also have enough similarities that if
they
I
have
were
some
to
type of parent technology and style,
or if I do a universal color scheme, then they can be for any of them.
Oh, I think we got somebody else in here with us.
We does.
Who do we got?
We has a speed bump.
It's a me.
It's a speed bump. All right. Give me a second to adjust this.
Adjust it.
Yeah, I'm adjusting it. Hey, what are you doing, thing?
A little to the left.
Yeah, it just threw everything off to the side.
I done went and messed it up.
Oh, yeah, you did. But hey, it happens.
Leave it to me.
It's okay. I just have to do a little on the fly, which is fine.
That's fine. I need to go get some water anyway.
Hey, I got you on screen.
Hey.
I see that kitchen.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a mess.
All right, now they get the sizes right, so we all have the same size projection.
Hello, friend.
Who, me? Hi.
Don't want to cover up the really nice logo Claire made, but that's going to happen.
Oh no.
Okay, so all three of us are in, or all three screens are in shot now.
Yay!
Yep, yay.
Asa making dudes. So is Hewitt.
I'm painting the Sphinx. And I will say this, when you prime your minis, I had no choice but to use my gloss primer because I was not going to go back to Home Depot. When I primed these like a month ago, you will lose a lot of details until that first base coat of paint if you use gloss instead of
Yeah, that's why that's why it's typically it's best to use matte. The glosses the shit that's in it to make it glossy is thicker.
it is. But the good news is now that I've got a base coat on most of this, I can see where I need to go back with technical paint.
I will say this. There is as far as mini painting goes, my top three are number 3 is Goobertown Hobbies. Number 2 is Ninjon, and number 1 is Pete the Wargamer. Pete the Wargamer does almost exclusively Warhammer.
Oh,
the other two guys do other stuff.
Is it bedtime, bud? Is it bedtime? Hey, let me get a kiss. Love you. Sleep tight.
And Ninjon did not too long ago found a it was on Amazon. It's like it's a $40 airbrush or $50 airbrush kit. The compressor is about 8 inches by 1 inch. Like 8 inches long and 1 inch around. He tried it with a gun that came with it and his $400 high end gun, and both of them worked flawlessly. So that saved in my cart. And the thing about using the airbrush is you can actually use like your normal like Abaddon black or ash gray or any of your paints as primer.
Nice. Okay, got a nice color on her. And now, since I have this brown out, I'm going to go ahead and get my Blink Dogs.
I was wondering why it was so hot in here. My thermostat set to like 78.
You should probably not do that. It's hot as hell down here.
Yeah,
Mine
I
has
just
been
lowered it.
mine has been set to 75 to 77 all summer. Because that $300 electric bill was no joke.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this much: it as hot as it currently is, man. That has 110% made me miss the fucking desert. And you got 80 degrees in the wasteland is hot until you start to sweat. And then I've said it before, I will say it again, and I'll say it to the day I die, because as a Cajun boy, who very seldomly moves his happy ass outside of the swamps, to feel sweat actually work properly is amazing. Like, it is mind-boggling that I am standard Louisiana summer hot, and then 5 minutes later, I'm not.
Yep.
The only time I've been in the desert in the summer was in New Mexico, and that is, I did not realize I'd gotten as hot as I had because the heat functions completely different. Because I'm like, I'm not sopping wet. I must be fine.
That was the hardest. That was legitimately the hardest thing. I don't know about Chris. That was legitimately the hardest thing for me to get used to. Was realizing when to stop. Even though I'm realizing that, hey, you need to stop, even though you are not covered and completely soaked with sweat.
They are reading The Bad Guys in the back of my house, and my wife is doing voices, and my child is giggling his ass off. I love it. So
yeah, I've got about 30 days.
Yep, 1 month, T-minus 1 month until
you get the Mad Max it up.
Yee.
T-minus 30 days until Speed Bump goes home.
Yee.
I'm counting down to March because that's basically a homecoming for us up here. Because we get to come back down to Lafayette for one, but two, it'll be the first time in nearly a decade I get to steampunk.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the Makers Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I guess I should maybe plan on going to that, huh?
I would appreciate it.
Now, what I'm painting right now is a snow golem. But the way they had them painted on the case with like just solid snow white and then like the actual bone teeth, I was like, yeah, I get what you're going for here. I get it. 100% get it. I'm going to make these guys disgusting. Because all I see is a blob with a terrible toothy smile. I now have more dire Lemire. Or some other type of monstrosity to throw at people and then have them look at me like there's something terribly, terribly wrong with me.
Well, I mean, that's because there's something terribly, terribly wrong with you.
This is true. Oh, but Knox, since you're here, I want to run something by you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe there's been much of an update on what everybody's doing in Holy Winds.
Mm-hmm.
So I am tempted for us to play the Quiet Year when we first get back so that everybody has faculties on what is changing.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've wanted to do a game where we play the Quiet Year as part of it for nearly a year now.
Yeah.
Do y'all know what the Quiet Year is?
That's just basically hand wave a year in the life and pick up from there.
No, it is a actual game. You can buy the actual cards, but you can also use a deck of cards if you have the rules. And you devise a society that is dealing with things after a calamity.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you can create projects that the communities are working on. You can create scarcities. You can create abundances. You can more or less devise the world that everybody will then be dealing with.
Basically, a quick way to. I don't like that. Basically, a quick way to do that. Basically a missed year kind of thing.
Well, it wouldn't be so much a missed year. You're like the characters you are playing would still be actively doing something. Now there might be stuff like I tell you, okay, you absolutely can't do this. You can't be like, oh, well, we kill God. We start a project to kill God, the God laser. But God, I can't find a video on it right now without messing up our stream. But my brother and me, when they did the last season of the Adventure Zone, they played it beforehand and they created a lot of the factions, a lot of the issues, and created locales that they eventually visited. Like, there's this tower here. And then they never addressed it again. So in like the 13th session, they ended up going to that tower after it sank into the ocean. And everybody's like, oh, shit. And the big thing I've seen with it is it gets everybody more involved because you have built a portion of the world.
Yeah, get your players involved. It scratches that itch of, instead of explaining to your players how the world works, they are part of making how the world works.
Right. Now, I'll be honest, I would really love to do it before every new campaign to an extent. Like, I pull up a map and go, okay, here's the section of the world we're going to be in. Let's play this and create this together, and then you can build your characters. Or once we've done this, now we can decide what your characters are actually doing. And I think that'd be fun to play online.
Yeah. That sounds really fun. I think that'll
because I mean
really...
the other games I proposed for this probably aren't going to happen simply because of time constraints, and some of the people who want to be involved just can't be because they are extremely busy.
Yeah.
Like, I love Christina, and she makes so many cool characters. She needs to stop being busy with graduate school. Like, they just need to go ahead and give her doctorate, let her be the professor, and then she can come play games.
Yes. Because that is literally the most important thing, is that Christina comes and plays games.
Well, so Christina can hang out with family.
Yeah, and play games. I agree.
Then again, this is the thing that's still tripping me up, because thank you, Facebook, for telling me what happened 10 years ago. I never post on you. But I keep seeing pictures of all of us from 10 years ago, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I had a thing pop up the other day with Bob on it.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Who finally killed Bob?
I have no idea. I don't know where that thing went off to.
Somebody had Bob. Cannon engraved it. Cannon took a freaking branding tool and marked it with the Airship 67. And then I think it went to Jenna. I don't know if it went to anybody after her.
She's the last one I remember having it.
Which means Bob was destroyed by a hurricane.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, I know I had him for a little while.
I remember
everybody had him for a little while.
We had to glue them back together at one point.
Yeah.
Is that because he was originally a playset, correct?
Yeah, I finally figured out the other day what that was. It was like a battle world or something.
It was the boys.
War Planets, I think is what it was called originally. There's like a whole series of them you can get.
It was like Boy's Polly Pocket.
Yeah. You open it up and there was like a bunch of little miniatures inside that you'd fight with or something like that.
Wait, did that actually have dice?
The War Planets thing? No.
Oh, something for y'all to be on the lookout. Talking about dice. Dollar Tree is carrying polyhedrals sometimes now.
Huh.
I know you can find D&D stuff in the Walmarts now.
You can find it in the Ollies too. Remember when they made the Dungeons and Dragons toys that were not quite miniatures?
Yeah.
They had those at
Neat.
Ollie's. So it was kind of cool to see that. Still not worth $7, but
Yeah.
But you're talking about finding your joy in painting minis. This is not like I like painting them. I won't lie. There's when I really get into painting them, I enjoy it. I just have to make myself actually start painting, like because when I first little bit when I'm painting, it drives me nuts. Building minis drives me nuts, but once I get into it, it's cathartic. My real
I have found that I really like putting them together. Building minis is something that is very, very. It's very much a happy place for me. I have come to find.
But I will
painting is painting. I'm getting there in my painting. I'm starting to get to the point where I am acceptance. I've come to the acceptance part of painting that I am okay.
My biggest joy, and it'll probably be what I do next month if I don't do just some improv video in the meantime, is I love to build terrain. I love taking that steampunk skill that we all have and converting something into something else.
Yeah.
Like taking like Dollar Tree is becoming my best friend for terrain on some aspects of it because of how affordable some things are, but also with just the quality's actually gotten higher. I mean, yeah, it's kind of annoying that they're now $1.25 on some things, but like they actually had Fruit of the Loom socks in Dollar Tree that I now wear on my feet. And they have held up. It's not like they're crappy. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, the price went up, but the quality went up. So
yeah, it's a kind of a situation where it's not so much that the price went up, it's that they're getting better shit.
That's some of it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of annoying that the price went up. But let's be honest, it's not going up into a level that's, well, I mean, for some people it may, but for a lot of us, it's not in a level that's going to make you not go there. Because if you go to Dollar General or you go to Family Dollar, they're still way more expensive.
Dollar General's thing is that they want to compete with Walmart, and there are some areas they 100% are.
I mean, the thing is Dollar General will go into an area that Walmart never would. Like between me and my folks in Mississippi, I will pass a Walmart in Bastrop. There is a Walmart in Greenville, and then there is a Walmart in Cleveland. So there are a couple places that there is a Walmart, but I'll tell you, I go by at least 24 Dollar Generals.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a Dollar General everywhere.
And they ain't empty. Like anytime I've gone in, somebody's like in Parkland or Parkdale, Arkansas. That is literally the halfway point between us. So whenever we take Vincent up to visit them or we pick him up from them, we meet there because there's a Dollar General with a clean bathroom and we can get snacks or a toy, get in the car and go. Because I have a policy, if I poop in your bathroom, I'm going to buy something at your store. Or if I pee at your place, I'm gonna buy something in your store. It seems only right to me. Other folks in my family would argue with me that I am wrong. And then I look at them and say, you are a heathen. You dutied in their store, and then you just left them with that. Now, I'm not going to lie. The only place I will take that back. There is one Dollar General that we used the bathroom and didn't buy anything in because the Dollar General in Cairo, Illinois is get in and get out as fast as you can. That might just be my philosophy with Cairo, Illinois, too.
Yeah, it is a thing.
Cairo, Illinois is... have either of you listened to, watched, or read American Gods?
Yep.
Yes.
The description in the audiobook of Cairo, Illinois, when Shadow ends up there.
No, is that's where he meets
Mr. Ibis,
Thoth and
Thoth, Anubis, and Bast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The description they give of that place in that is 100% accurate. Like Cairo used to be nice. Like years ago used to be nice, and then it just lost most of its importance. I mean, new forms of transportation show up, and you're mostly outdated mode of transportation hub.
You die.
Unless you can adapt, and they didn't. I mean, Monroe's on that list too. We got some people trying to fix it, but there's one big problem. The industry they're trying to bring here works if you have a certain level of income.
What are they trying to do?
Well, okay, so you know how y'all have in Lafayette the walking downtown area, or is that still a thing? They want to do that with Monroe's downtown. But the problem is that you run into issues of there are people who own property literally for tax reasons. So many of our buildings downtown are on historic registries, and you can get like tax write-offs, and you can get money and everything. But the problem is that they don't take care of them. They are literally there until they fall apart, and that is where most, if not all, of our properties downtown are. So they're dealing with that. They want to build a giant venue for a downtown marketplace and having a theater for like amphitheater that's on the river and building like hotels and old buildings. And like, all this is great. But the problem is we could have a really nice amphitheater, but if you don't have anything that maintains a level of money to maintain the property, and you don't have anything in town that, like, the town's not big enough to draw a band that would then warrant me buying a ticket to go to the amphitheater, there's not a purpose. Like, I'm happy they're trying, and I'm really supportive of them trying. Like, go ahead and do this, but like, what happens when y'all are no longer here? What happens when you are no longer doing this? I want to know, because this is a great thing. This is awesome. What's the sustainability?
Yeah.
That sounds about like the same thing here with downtown over here. They're trying to do all kinds of things to revitalize downtown, but then when a hurricane comes through and destroys like half of the buildings downtown, and instead of fixing them, they just knock the whole thing down and turn it into a parking lot, or just leave half of a brick wall up and then an abandoned lot. Yeah.
I mean, the big thing I really wish they would do here is you have to attract businesses that can create a sustainable income. Right now, most of the people that it's either you're wealthy, sort of middle class, and the reason I say sorta is because apparently the middle class line got moved up to, like, to be true middle class, you're supposed to be making like $100,000. And then there's the very large majority are lower class and lower middle. And there's not a lot of mobility, and there's not a lot of jobs, so the people who can get out of here get out and leave. And then eventually you get left with the folks who can't leave, and you don't end up attracting business, because we've had companies straight up tell us, you do not produce the working capital we would need to maintain a business here.
Kind of a, but on the other hand, it is kind of a catch-22, considering the fact that that puts the city in a position of, you don't have enough. The city doesn't produce enough capital to warrant these businesses to come in, but the city needs those businesses to come in to generate the capital to attract more businesses.
The big thing, what I mean, is when they say you don't have the capital for this, is we don't have people that are employable for their desires, like the company's desires. So, like, I want you to build a business here, and you're like, yes, but I got to have employees that live there to actually work at my business. And the problem is, here in Monroe right now, regardless of socioeconomic class, you are actually fairly hard pressed to find somebody who will regularly pass a drug test. Like, right now, our biggest something flashed. Our biggest employers right now are the university, the hospital, and then Monroe City School Board. Which is not necessarily great.
Yeah. Rocky boy.
All right, let me clean you off, and then I got to do a base coat across the bottom of this thing. Like, now that I bought a house, like, there's a good chunk of me that does not want to move.
Mm-hmm.
But I know eventually, after a while, for my family, that's
It
going
may
to
be necessary for
it might,
for continued survival.
yeah. So I'd prefer to stay in the state of Louisiana, so don't gotta get certified anywhere else, because I don't want to pay money for that.
That just means you move closer to us down here.
Yeah, work on my wife with that one. I would do it in a heartbeat. Cost of living in the Lafayette area is roughly about the same, and the income is slightly higher.
That's not. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like an option.
It is to me, but I also have a wife who is from the northern end of the country who does not wish to move any further away from her family.
Hey, all I'm saying, Lafayette has an airport, and with the price of gas right now, it'd probably end up working out cheaper for you.
There is a chance. We have not taken Vincent anywhere on like flying, so we're slightly terrified to see how that goes.
iPad and an iPad or a phone and headphones. He'll be fine. He will either think it is amazingly funny whenever you take off, but that shit wears off relatively quickly.
You also have to get me on a plane, which doesn't happen easy either.
Hey, Hewitt,
not out of fear.
You bring a phone and headphones.
No,
and,
here's the deal. No, here's the thing. Flying is actually dope as hell. I love going up in the air. Like the fact that you can put me in a tube, and then that tube,
which is powered by liquid dinosaurs,
can then travel so incredibly fast and get me almost anywhere, like literally almost anywhere. That part I am fine with, and that is dope. What I am not fine with is the goddamn number of times I get pulled off to the side for the full body search. Sir, we need you to come this way, sir. Sir, I know you can hear me, sir. We need you to come over here. Thinking I almost got detained by Homeland Security in South Bend, Indiana for being a smartass. So,
I mean,
well, if you're gonna put
here,
me,
this is me and Chris's shocked face.
Right.
You're gonna put me through the 3D body scan. You're gonna see absolutely everything. You can't get mad at me for doing the Captain Morgan stance. You can't. You are not allowed to get mad at me. If you're going to sit there and be like, I am going to use an x-ray machine to make sure nothing's going on, but 90% of it is I get to see your junk. You also make my wife feel hella uncomfortable. I'm going to do Captain Morgan. And then when you tell me don't do that, I'll do Superman. And then when you tell me don't do that, I do, what was it, Degeneration X? Where you just do the extra. Yeah, I just do that. And then, sir, if you continue to do this, we will detain you. Fine, assholes.
Goddamn Taliban making this not fun anymore.
Let me throw this out there. One dude does stupid shit with his shoes and doesn't even do it right. I gotta take off my damn shoes and go through an extensive search. Now, I don't want to take nobody's gun, but one dude does something stupid once with his shoes. My stay at the airport is now longer and more difficult. How many school shootings have we had?
I've lost track.
I'm gonna keep them both.
What?
That is a tangent.
What's an idjit?
That's a tangent that would get us flagged. Where are you? Leather brown. Look at that. Exactly what I was looking for. Leather brown.
I mean, my big issue with all that is, now I know part of it is who's got the right people in anywhere lobbying, but it's one of those, I don't want to take anybody's gun. I don't want to take anybody's right to a gun away. Maybe we start teaching people how to use the son of a bitch right. Like, respect for the damn weapon. Like, I remember going through school, I had to have hunter safety.
I do.
Did y'all have to have that?
Yep. I mean, you still do.
I don't remember taking anything like that.
That's if you want a license.
Not up here, though. Up here, it is no longer a portion. I had to take it in 7th grade as PE. We did first aid, sex education, and hunter safety. And that is where I came to the conclusion that the gun is a tool I currently do not have a need or use for, therefore I'm not going to buy it. Doesn't mean I don't think other people should be able to buy it. It's just I choose not to buy it.
This dog over here trying to jump up and grab a needle.
Which dog?
The little bad one, Nim.
Then again,
you know, Arya would never do something like that.
Oh, she's the sweet one. That's right. Now, the other thing I'll say on this is I've had to tell a couple people at work very quickly because we had to go through safety. We had to go through active shooter safety training.
Mm-hmm.
And the officer informed people, it is 5 minutes from the precinct to here. It is 5 minutes from the precinct to here, so a lot of this is going to be on you, not us. And of course, that started some arguments about, okay, well, if that's the case, should we be getting, if schools are going to have to be the ones that deal with this immediately, do the schools need to get paid a portion of the police budget? Because, we're having to do part of the police job. And I'm like, I'm not getting into this. I'm not getting into this because here's the deal. That's not just them saying we're not going to do it. That is literally them saying we are 5 minutes physically away. Some of this is going to be you have to be ready to act. And then it got onto the topic of arming teachers, which I am vehemently against. I know my coworkers. I know coworkers across this state. I know people in other districts that I wouldn't trust with a stapler. Plus just all the other aspects of it. But, so I got to that and somebody's like, I could do it. And the officer, I got to give the officer credit for this because there's a lot of this that was him just like, if it happens, it happens. I'm like, the very realistic thing. I was like, where's the training part of this? It was more or less like he said, you could get shot. And here's the deal. When you get shot, you are not dead. I'm like, who thinks if you get shot, this isn't Star Wars where a blaster hits you in the pinky toe and somehow you're dead. But one of them was like, oh, I could do it. And the cop goes, all right, you would be willing to shoot one of your own students. And the whole room went dead silent. I'm over here to the side going, yep.
There it is. And you're off to the side going, there it is.
I'm just nodding. Yep. Because I'll go ahead and tell you, no, I would not be able to unless it was like literally the only way to save my students' lives. And even then I'd be like, I might just get shot and allow them to run. I don't think I can do this. But yeah, all the people that were like talking about being badasses, I'm like, most of you that are talking about this, I would not give a gun to just simply because you're sitting there talking about what you would do or what you wouldn't do with it. That thing stays on your side until you have to use it. It is one of the biggest, I hope you never have to be drawn situations. But That is still an ongoing thing because there's somebody trying to get us approved for us all to carry. And my thing is, all right, you're going to pay for me to have one? I mean,
Yeah.
Or is this going to be a situation like I do with everything else in my classroom? Because if you don't tell me what I can carry, there's going to be somebody that shows up here stupid. And if you don't write this law right, I'm showing up with a ballista.
Mr. Hall, what are you doing? Protecting my children.
Sir, siege crafts are not allowed.
Then you should have put that in the bylaws. Then you should have put it in the student handbook.
It was not clearly defined. Here's the thing. I'm making that a joke. My wife is fully aware that I might make the joke, and then all of a sudden we all get together. It's like, hey, they're going to make me do this. You want to help me?
Ballista it is.
Who wants to help me build a siege craft? You know, just build a moderate-sized scorpion.
You just need rope. Rope's the biggest thing. I don't know that. Timber. Honestly, dude, you'd probably be better off with a fucking 45.
I'd do it out of principle and spite, though. At
the price of lumber, you might be better off with a 45. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
Then again, if they ever did pass that law, unless like I will lose my job, I would refuse to. Because I don't see the purpose. I don't think it's necessary. I don't view it as the solution. Also, I know the number of dumbasses I work with. I do not think we need to find out how south that plan would go.
Well, okay, I'm kind of weird.
We all are.
I understand that. Wholly. But, I like to think of myself as a, as something. I'm gonna do this for this. I like to think of myself as someone who is rational and realistic when it comes to shit like this. So you're telling me that in order to stop school shootings, which by definition is essentially kids going into schools with guns because there's something wrong with them. You're gonna bring the guns into school for them?
That's high up on my list too, dude. My thing is that
if that's the thing that they want to pass, cool. Then are you going to have fingerprint access gun safes in every school, in every teacher desk? Are y'all gonna fund that so that those weapons are secured when unneeded?
What about when there's a substitute in there because I'm sick?
Well, and the substitute's just boned.
No, I'm just saying is, I'm not saying this in support. I am saying even if we bought that, then we put fingerprint safes. Okay, what happens when the teacher's not in that room? Well, now you have it there supposedly for somebody's protection, but now it's completely inaccessible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like North or South Carolina? It's like we have one AR-15 to protect our school in the principal's office. I'm like, so that the principal of the junior high can come out, like try to be the Terminator or run around like Rambo with it under one arm and save somebody. Hell, I've seen most principals and junior high principals. They're gonna forget. They're gonna forget to take the fucking safety off.
and let's face it, most of those guys make me and you look really, really skinny.
There's a few. Then again, I'm a hefty boy.
I am as well. However, I'm gonna put this back down here so that people don't see me smoke because I am.
Pay no attention to the cancer stick.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here drinking Blue Moon on stream.
And what happens? Now it hasn't happened yet that we know of. What happens when the teacher just has that day?
Yep, I got several coworkers that. Okay, here's the deal.
What happens when that student that we all know, everybody went to school with one of these guys,
Ricky,
or one of these guys or one of these girls that would literally put his hands on the teacher once he got to a certain point.
Oh, I thought you were talking about which kid was the one that would be a smart ass to the teacher. I thought that's where you were going with it. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm talking about the ones that would put. I'm talking about the one that once he knows that his time is up and that enough has happened, that that there is very little worse that could happen to him, and that ends up putting his hands on a teacher.
And that teacher defends themselves.
Air quotes.
Yeah,
defends themselves.
But the body camera shows defends themselves, right?
Yeah, when you see the last 6 seconds of the body cam footage.
Oh yeah, 100% on that one.
All right. I think I need to do null oil on that.
But I mean, the
hashtag you're not a mini painter until you just slap null oil on it because it needs to be darker.
How do you make the armor look dingy? Null oil.
Null oil. How do you make the corpse look even more like disgusting? Null oil.
What do you do? What do you use when you're out of earth shade for flesh tones?
Null oil.
Yeah. But with what we were saying, Matt, one of the big things is I keep hearing symptom solutions. I don't hear
sickness solutions.
I don't hear problem solutions.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to address, like, okay, why have these increased? Why is this happening more? If it's not access to this, there has to be a clear and present reason why this is happening. There is, I mean,
and as far as that goes, there is one thing that I will agree with conservatives on for sure, and that is the fact that it was, well, this never happened in my day. No, you're right. It didn't.
It's not your day now, though.
Exactly. So what's changed? It's not access to guns. It is 100% not access to firearms. Because let me tell you something. Firearms are a whole lot more secure nowadays than they were when I was a kid.
Did you have somebody show up to go to school and they were just in the back of the truck because they went duck hunting earlier?
That's legitimately a thing. In my dad's time, you'd bring your shotgun to school. Like, there were rules for it. It's the same. It had to be secured in a rack in the vehicle, chamber open, and the ammunition had to be secured in a glove box. Because it was normal back then. Now this may be a little weirder for anybody listening that's north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Not just that, dude. If anybody that lives in an area that has a population, higher,
a more urban population, a more a city, much less than what we have, which is more rural areas. You know, I don't know. Somebody needs to. It's something that people need to look at. What's the difference? What's changed? And I think I honestly think that one of the leading causes of it is the renaissance of mental health care. And knowing all of the things that we know now about mental health and people's inability to complete treatments. It's okay. You have this problem, and now you have options to fix it. But if you don't complete the program, or you don't hold to the regimen, then it never gets manageable. You know what I mean?
Completing steps 1 through 7 does not complete.
Correct. Not if there's 10 steps.
I mean, not that there's 10 steps. I'm just saying it's if you do not make it all the way to the end.
If you stop at 7, if you just stop at 7 and don't continue, if it's steps 1 through 7 and then you continually do step 7 over and over and over again to maintain, if you stop at 7 and don't continue to do it, then you have done nothing.
Then again, the other problem we have is we still deal with in society that we don't want to talk about mental health.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to talk about mental health. We're not supposed to do this. And I'm over here going, that is the most unhealthy shit you have. If you need to talk to me because something ain't right and you don't think something's working in your head, I'll help you as best I can, and then I will get you to somebody or try to get you to somebody that can actually help you. Because it is not fun to be dealing with a child who is crying because they do not know exactly what the fuck is going on.
Hey, what's wrong? I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I deal with that with Vincent Chaos Muffin all the time. It's, his medication isn't 100% right now. So all of a sudden he gets upset. And when I say upset, I mean upset. And it is because he is not 100% sure why he's even upset, because he doesn't understand that emotion. So I'm like, all right, we're going to work on this. And then when I deal with a kid at work that ends up doing that, like, I'll have one that like all of a sudden just starts busting out crying. And I get pissed at some of my coworkers. Weak kid. You don't understand what it's like, how hard it really is. I'm sitting like, you stop before you don't know the kid's situation.
Yeah, that's what you want to tell a kid who personally at this very point in their life feels like they can't take anymore. Yeah, that's what you want to tell them. Hey, this is nothing. It gets worse.
Right.
Well,
yeah, that's how you help.
Oh, it's like, well, my day I had this. Is like, look, you had a completely different set of problems. But you know what this kid deals with? They might wake up and then they're living with the fight or flight response going 24/7. You know how long we're supposed to deal with fight or flight? 30 minutes. Our bodies and our brains, our nervous system is not designed to deal with fight or flight for an extended
for long periods of time.
Right, because it is a survival mechanism.
And I will from 100% experience, from dealing with it with the boy is he spent 16 years in unsafe situations. Not 100% of the time, but a lot of the time he was not in a good place. He was in survival mode for 16 years. You know what happened a couple of months after he moved into my house, where he wasn't, where he was finally in a position for, he was finally in a position where he was not in survival mode. You know what happens? That bottle that they stuff everything down into, because I can't deal with this right now, I have to survive.
Explodes.
When that bottle opens, that's when they experience all of the feelings that they've been bottling up for years all at once. And we were sitting at this bar right next to me playing Magic. It was turn 3. He drew, he looked at his hand, and he broke. And Mish walked up to him and looked at him and said, "Do you need to go? Do you need to go in somewhere?" And he said, "Yeah." And we had him. We put him in a psychiatric hospital that night, because he after 16 years he was finally in a place where he wasn't in survival mode. And once he hit that, and once he realized that he could relax, everything blew up, because it could. And his wife had literally the exact same thing happen to her 2 weeks ago, because she was finally in a position where she wasn't in survival mode, and that bottle opened, and she did the same thing, and she got the help she needed, and she's doing 110% better right now because of it.
I mean, it's the thing is like, I have so many coworkers that if you were to hear their life stories, most people would go, "Oh fuck." Now, what disturbs them is when I stare at them and I go, "That's tough, buddy." Because I mean, I think everybody that's sitting in here right now, without giving out any details, has had what I would consider a real honest to God fucking problem. There's been that one, like, oh fuck problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of folks who have had those in their life, or they've lived with a level of tough that they don't expect anybody else. And that's the reason why I try. It's like, oh, this is all right. I'm going to listen to you, because right now you need someone to listen to you. I don't need to compare what I've dealt with to what you're dealing with, because that's not going to help you. That's not going to help me. That's not going to help anybody.
Yeah, and that also goes back to what I was saying earlier about, don't tell a kid who has in some of these instances has no real responsibilities, or worse yet, a kid that has some of the responsibilities that some of the kids that you teach.
I got kids who pay bills.
Yeah, telling these kids, you think what you're going through is bad, just wait, it gets worse. That's not going to help. That is actively going to make the situation worse. Because, well, shit, if you look at them and go, man, you really ain't got no responsibility. You really got much in the way of responsibilities right now. You're a kid. You do this. I mean, wait till you're an adult when you have to deal with this and this and this and this and this. It's literally just putting bricks on top of this kid, going, "Holy crap! I can't deal with it." And according to these people, I ain't dealt with shit yet. How am I going to deal with that?
Also, the thing you got to remember is even with adults, which I'll be honest, I don't have a ton of patience with adults. It is one of those sometimes when I hear what an adult has done or how they feel about doing stuff with kids, I'm like, all right, you and I are 100% about to have a problem. And I will make sure you understand that I am in a size category that having a problem with me is probably not beneficial. But you don't do that to kids because, I mean, here's the deal. Yeah, for me, like having to replace a roof, that sucks. But it's one of those things that I'm going to be like, look, I got to do it. So there's no reason to freak out. But there's other people that would break them. A major expense like that would literally, they would freak out. And I'm like, I can't, this doesn't even trip my meter. This just means I go into debt. I don't like going into debt. But if the biggest consequence of having to deal with this is, oh, I'm going to owe a bunch of money, my problem is not necessarily a actual problem. Mm-hmm. But someone else, that might break them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to judge you because of that. Where you are in your life, you aren't able to cope with this yet. So I will show sympathy, and if you need or you want help, I will try to help you. I might not necessarily be empathetic because I think everybody here knows I am not the most empathetic, warm, fuzzy individual that has ever been met. But, you know, I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, man, that sucks. But, you know, I have to. Mm-hmm. That doesn't help anybody, and it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But let's get off of this soapbox that we got on. I apologize, guys.
Yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to get it off. Meanwhile, yeah. I am pretty satisfied with Ghoulie Boys.
I'm happy with most of mine. I was gonna stop early, but like I said, once I get into the swing of it, it becomes a thing.
I'm gonna do flesh tears right on that, but I'm gonna lighten the loop. Oh, where's my stick? Where's my stick? Give it a stick.
So
don't touch this.
Either of y'all started watching the new Game of Thrones?
I watched the first episode.
Did you enjoy it?
We'll see. It was you know, like it was good, but you know, we'll see if it stays good because I don't know.
Is it the same?
I don't know if I can handle another ending like the actual Game of Thrones had. So
okay, on that, like because we got Nasa and Jed here, absolutely love the last season of Game of Thrones, and are like that it made sense. I'm like, okay, look, the ending, if you're gonna have her go full Targaryen, I'm not opposed to it. She's not been the most logical individual this entire time.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Be organic with it. Make it feel like not just such a snap. Now, I understand such a snap can happen. I understand that you hinted at it twice before, but foreshadowing is not character development. And that's not even the most annoying part. It was the undoing of character development for a decade. Undoing and throwing away storylines for a decade. Making it to where everybody had fast travel. Because, like, we're going to go from Dragonstone to the wall and back, and the sun hasn't set yet. So apparently that dragon's hitting Mach fucking 5. We're somehow going to make it from Eastwatch to the Hall of the Karl Starks, or make it from Winterfell to Carholm, and like we just jogged. We jogged. Oh shit! There's all this undead. Or we're going to make one of the most epic battles of the series so dark nobody can fucking see it. And then, like, we wanted to make it realistic. Like, I get it. Also, who the fuck sends horse riders out in the middle of the night? Who has horses charge infantry in darkness? You just got tired of having the Dothraki. The literal shit, guys. This is bad planning. You made a bad plan. You do not send cavalry to charge blindly at infantry. That is how you lose all your horses. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Now, I will say, there's moments I enjoyed of the last season. Anything with Bronn in the last season I enjoyed because he was just done with everybody's bullshit. Like, are you going to help us fight? Fuck no. I'm going south to my castle. You're going to pay me, or I will find you and I will kill you if those things don't. Tired of your asses. Like,
you also got the Hound. Are you gonna die over some chickens? Someone will.
I've had those days, though. I'll be fair. I've had those days.
Yeah.
I've had the days where it's like, all right, this is not worth dying over, but we're doing it anyway.
This is really good. The Flesh Tearers red contrast paint, man. It is like blood effect. For blood effects, it is so good.
I'm making these dudes so grody. I'm so happy with it.
Myself, that's exactly. I'm going back over and putting some blood details on the claws and on some of the bone and the hands, and they're crazy vampire boys. So, on the mouths as well.
I am doing pustules. Right now it looks like polka dots, but
I'm sewing
what are you sewing right now?
patches
Ooh.
and more patches and more patches.
Do you still have any of the old stuff I gave you, like that shoulder pad?
Yes. I wore that shoulder pad last year.
The one with the wheelbarrow
Yes.
rim on it?
Yep.
I'm glad it's getting use.
Yeah.
You know what's really great about painting minis to be gross?
You ain't gotta worry about so much about the details.
Oh yeah, that, but also you could make it actually look kind of crappy and it still works.
I need to see about figuring a way to do better splatter effects.
Do
Toothbrush is
not.
probably the best.
It is, but you also need to be very careful about where you do the spritzing.
Yeah.
You will get in a lot of trouble if you spritz in the wrong place, but that is a life lesson for any subject anyway.
I mean, this is 100% true. I am gonna call my dudes. Actually, like I think I'm done with these guys for
Nice.
now. No, pretty much. So, also, Hewitt,
Hi.
have you invested in these yet?
And what? Little magnets?
No. These are the ball bearings, the paint mixers.
I have not invested in those yet.
And they are like
Put them in your paint pots.
Yep, they're either like 8 or either 8 or 12. They're either 8 or $12, which is, I mean, yes, it is a little on the higher end. It is more of a luxury item. It is 100% unnecessary for the hobby. However, I will say this, especially me using army painter paints, and you throw 2 of them in an army painter bottle or 1 of them in a Citadel pot, and it mixes up the paint so much better. All right, I am gonna see if I can get Duders to show up.
Who is Duders?
These Duders, and see if I can get this good enough to focus for what I'm trying to do. There we go.
Nice.
Let's see if I can get him. So, yeah, like I said, come on, you can do it. I believe in you. So yeah, this is what that Flesh Terror Dread does when it comes to the the blood effects, stuff like that. And of course, because Vampire Boys, I gotta have them.
Looking good.
I gotta have all the mouths and shit all the same. There we go. There's one.
Nice.
Very nice. My camera is too far away for me to do that, but I know that it's supposed to be clear for what the blink dog's coming through, but I kind of like the last couple minis I've gotten that are like that. I will spray paint all of it and let and paint over the clear. So I can then do like the most goofy, over the top, silly, like all my specters I've made look like they're in the haunted mansion, like the almost black light paint tone to them.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I want to go with this. these other dudes I got over here are going to end up being like the most boring looking things, but I bought them because they look like monster hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I figure that they would not be the most flamboyant and colorful.
So I don't know if I showed you the modification that I made to my Black Knights.
No, I don't think you did.
So stay straight, damn it. That'll do. So standard Black Knight. I went ahead and actually magnetized them.
Nice.
So we've got a magnet here, and we've got a magnet underneath the actual rider, so that we can just pop him on. So we have a Black Knight. Yay! He's ready for paint. However, as Hewitt knows, these kits are a lot of these kits have multi-part kits in them. So I also built. Where's my controls? Come on, you can go down. You can see him now. We also got the Night Haunt Hex Wraiths, which also ride on the horses.
Nice.
So I will be. So these guys are up. These guys are on the list. I will probably do them first before I move on to. Before I move on to the kit that I'm actually a little intimidated to paint these, which is the Vampire Knights. So I've got a bunch of them that they're not. None of them are completely put together yet, because I need. Because I'm gonna need area. I'm gonna need to be able to paint them. So the Black Knights and Wraith Knights are gonna be first on the list, and then I'm gonna do the white on zombies, the white on zombie steed. I also, since I'm here and I've only got a couple more left to deal with, I've also got these guys that I gotta do. So I got the Vargeists. And I've realized that I have a lot of minis ready for an area of the map that I have yet to that is literally on the other side of the continent. So
I have done that so many damn times with like the terrain that is for Avernus right now is 2 years old. I made it. I made it because I was so excited, and then it's taken us this long to get there because what was supposed to be a short side mission turned into a whole campaign because we were having so much fun with it.
And yeah, the surprisingly less. What is surprising that is actually less intimidating for me to get started painting on is, let's see if I can actually get him in the shot now. Is this guy.
Big old dragony boy.
Yeah, Zombie Lord on, and he can come off, which is nice. I don't really have to magnetize him because he just kind of sits in there really nice. So I have that and the knight itself. The knight is not going to be terribly bad because of him being so just kind of square. As opposed to like the vampire knight, the other vampire knights who are very the way that they're posed and everything else, it makes it, they are a bit more, they're going to be a bit harder to, there's a bit more detail to them, if you will. So actually, I can go ahead and,
I'm missing a patch.
Uh-oh.
you shouldn't do that. He's just a boy. All right. This off. I can move this. Here.
Like, I'm going to be honest with mini painting. Probably our best mini painter is Topher.
Mm-hmm.
But
Topher and Nate's shit is pretty fucking good, dude. Like, now they've done, they have a lot more, a lot of the minis that I paint, like I will not compare myself to Nate and Topher as far as my painting goes, for one simple reason: very little of the stuff that I do has as much detail as the stuff that they do. So I don't know. So I don't know how I do it, how well I would do with it, because I've never tried something with that much detail yet. Well, I mean, I have the vampire court that I did, but I'm not really gonna know that until I get into like the Vargeist, into the big bats, the big bat dudes, because there's gonna be a lot, some gradations in it, in the wings, going from a brown to more of a pink,
they
and the
do a lot
fur.
of, they do all that blending, and I'm not going to, but like I was going to say, what they do, they have to perfect what they're doing. They got to make it look so good. I'm over here going, does it look on par with a blind box? And then I'm good.
Yeah. I said, dude, that Ninjan is really good. He'll show you how to do he shows you how to do blending, and he dumbs it down so that it's easy to understand. The like for him to do wet blending, which is, I'm kind of excited to try it, is like, you pick your gradation. You pick the two colors. You pick the color you want it to start. You pick the color you want it to stop. You break the section that you want to paint. The whole section that you want the blend to happen in, you break it into thirds. You put the top color in the top third. You put the bottom color in the bottom third, and you come back with a brush, like instantly. Like, have both brushes, two brushes, one loaded with each color. Hit it, and then literally just swirl and mix in the middle.
I'm going to be ready for washes here in just a second. Also, I'm going to say, if you want a really good metallic color, Lead Belcher by Citadel.
I have apparently Vallejo's Quicksilver color. It's a specific. It's almost like a suspension that covers really well apparently. And then for insetting black into stuff, ink.
I've seen a lot of stuff with ink recently, and it looks really cool.
I have. I bought a bottle of black for some stuff to kind of play with it. And it came out all right. A lot of it is I think my technique wasn't exactly where it should have been. Something else that's really nice for quick and dirty is that that Ninjan is a really big fan of is oil washes.
You got to do those just right, though.
Nah, not the way he does it. You mix a little bit of oil paint and some spirits until it's the right consistency. Then you literally paint it over just completely cover the model in it. You wait 20 minutes until it begins to set, and you come back with a makeup sponge and remove it from everywhere you don't want it. You basically dry brush with a makeup sponge. You get it off of all of the top surfaces. It stays. It's started with it starting to set. It sticks. It's stickier. So one swipe and you're not going to wipe it all off. You'll wipe off the majority of it from the raised edges, but it'll stay in the crevices. He did an Ossiak Bone Reaper army in an oil wash. Like he went through, he primed them, he painted them all the bone, the regular bone, the color he chose for his bone. He painted all of the color onto the shields and all of the accent pieces, then went right over it with a brown oil wash, covered everything, and then wiped it all off, and it looks amazing. It gives it that old bone look, and it gives a good patina to the detail work and stuff like that. And then you just go back on like the way that I've been doing is the way that I saw from him, which is base coat, wash, then highlight. You wash it to get your shadows, and then you go back in, and then you do your midtones and your extreme highlights and your edge highlights, and it comes out really really good. You get a lot of, especially on more naked guys, you can get a lot more muscle definition out of the models doing it that way. You give them the base coat, you pick your flesh tone, your whatever wash you're going to do, and you go back over the high bits that would get the light hitting it with some of your regular skin tone again for your midtones, and then you just go in for your extreme highlights with your regular flesh tone plus like 2 shades lighter, or you mix in a super pale yellow to your base tone, and that washes out the color a bit but still gives it a bit of warmth to it. And it gives you really, really nice muscle definition.
Nice.
So yeah, I think I'm pretty satisfied with my scary ghouly boys. They are grotesque. They are covered in blood, but with a faction name like the Flesh Eater Courts. It's kind of a thing.
It's like, well, they shouldn't be. Oh, you shut your mouth. You
I
know
mean,
what they're about. You know they know, and you know their business.
I mean, they're fascinating. Like the lore of the flesh eater courts is fascinating to me because they are hideous, ghoulish monstrosities, but they don't see themselves that way. They actually see themselves as nobles and knights and lords and ladies. They all share a delusion. The delusion comes from their leader, and it is a mass delusion. So they will see themselves sitting around the feast at this village that they're visiting. They'll see a great feast that the townspeople have put out for them, and that they're being welcomed with open arms, and they are being lauded over, and they're all just having the best time. When in actuality, they are literally eating the townspeople. So it makes them. It's an interesting dichotomy. So their awareness of the world is that they are the good guys. They are nobles. They are knights and lords and ladies, and it's when in actuality they are
monsters.
Yes, savage people eating monsters.
I mean, I figured you'd end up liking them also because I think I'm the oddity in our crew that I'm not a big fan of leeches.
Yeah. And just the vampire faction of this game is just so dope.
Getting in my highlights before I do a wash, because when I do a wash, when I do the wash, I'm done. Chris, could you show us what you're stitching? I am curious.
So
Fun fact: it's a curious.
I put this on there on the collar.
Noise.
And then so this is already on here. It's been on here, but I was adding more little. Oh, where's the camera? More little X's and lines, and just some more random little stitches on there. And then I have a bunch of other patches that I haven't decided where I'm going to put or what I'm going to put on there. I was looking for. So last year at Wasteland, or on the way to Wasteland, in Winslow, which is our last stop before we get to Cow City, a bunch of the Wastelanders that travel on the Great 40 meet up, and we usually do dinner. So we went to this restaurant called the Falcon, and they seat us in this dark, dingy back party room area.
So you mean home?
And and they bring us menus, and we're all looking at menus and stuff. And there's something on the menu called all potato. That's it, just all potato. It became a thing. We joked about it, and one of the Wastelanders I met actually last year does a lot of artwork and stuff, and they had this idea from the all potato father. So I'll drop it in Discord because I actually still have the drawing saved.
Potodin?
Yes. So they made I was like, you need to make patches of this, and we need to all put patches on our stuff somewhere. So they made patches and mailed them out. And so I have an all potato father patch somewhere that I need to put on my vest, and I can't find it.
Potodin.
Let me get in
the
here.
tuber Jesus.
He mashed himself to learn the true way of the runes.
You all. I'm gonna scroll through and find it because it's been a while.
Oh, talking about it's been a while. I had something come across my news feed that the little bit of a redneck that's in me was super happy about. There is an attempt to revive King of the Hill. They want to bring it back because apparently, I guess he needs money, but also I guess the success from Beavis and Butthead coming back warranted them wanting to try the project.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it because it's another one of those things of, yes, I will watch this. Yes, I know how terrible it probably will be, but I miss King of the Hill just a little bit.
I dropped the all potato father drawing in the podcast chat, but Hewitt, I'll hold my phone up to the camera so you can see it since you're not.
Yeah, if I don't, well, no, if I change the screen to go see it, it will change it.
Right.
Over a little bit more. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So yeah, I have a patch somewhere with that on it, and I cannot find it anywhere.
That is a shame.
Oh, it's here.
My question is, have the children of Azer seen that yet?
No, I don't think so.
Is that one of the other groups?
Yeah, that's one of the tribes at Wasteland.
Like it's one of those things. I keep hearing all the Wasteland stories, and I'm like, "This is my Gettysburg." Like Kyle has. Like since I did. That's the one. I think that is the one trip I have not been involved in with all of our groups of doing things. I was usually there for most of it.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
We got to get Kyle up to at least see Gettysburg, though.
Yeah.
All right, time to go through all the washes. I have finished my crafting for the night. I'm going to eat a huge chunk of strawberry shortcake now.
Is that your reward?
Mm-hmm.
The nun oil. In my fridge right now, and that will be once I get off stream, what I will enjoy is at Sam's Club. We found Biscoff cookie ice cream bars.
Those sound delicious.
Oh, they are terrible for you. They are so many damn calories. But I'm going to eat them.
I have, oh, hold on.
Did you find it?
Nah, him's getting food.
I has bacon wrapped stuffed jalapenos that I baked and haven't eaten yet. But they're still warm. I'm about to eat them.
I'm probably going to do bacon wrapped chicken thighs tomorrow.
So, yeah.
I'm probably going to do bacon wrapped chicken thighs tomorrow for dinner.
That sounds delicious.
It is.
We will more than likely do chicken and have y'all tried the steamable broccoli from Jolly Green Giant?
I've had steamable broccoli, but I don't think I've had that specific one.
The Jolly Green Giant has cheese sauce, broccoli.
Well,
the whole
on that note, Mish has found that apparently, I think it's Family Dollar, actually sells the Velveeta cheese packets that come in the Velveeta shells and cheese, just the cheese packet.
Yes.
Oh, that's dangerous.
I've seen those at Dollar General and at Family Dollar.
They know what their business is and they know what they're about.
So Mish will either do that, do a steam bag of broccoli, and then put that on it. Or what I've been doing lately is I've been doing chopping up potatoes into cubes and doing roasted potatoes, just olive oil coat them in olive oil, dust them with Tony's, and then throw them in the oven about 15 minutes into it, and then I'll take one of the steam bags and I'll do it for like 2 minutes just to defrost, just to get them defrosted, and then I'll do the same thing to the broccoli, just toss it in olive oil and a little bit of Tony's on top, and then throw those in there in the oven with it, and we'll do potatoes and broccoli.
All
She'll do
potato and
broccoli.
But we've tried those a couple times, and they're super good. Like, I am happy with them. You throw them in the microwave for like 7 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And like for the roasted broccoli, I'll just do them for like 3 minutes. Do it for like 3 minutes, just to get them. It's not to get them hot. It's just to get the ice out of it, and then throw them in there and let them go till they just start to get crispy. Like the very tops of them will start to char a little bit. Pull them out, then you're good to go.
But let's see, what was the other thing? There was, for a while, Sam's Club was also selling spaghetti squash pretty affordably.
I'm gonna go get more cake because I'm a fat ass, and my strawberry shortcake is amazing, and it's simple as shit too.
Do. Yeah, I'll get these washes put on.
What washers are you using? Are you just using the Citadel washes, or you have?
Yeah, I got that's the main. They just started carrying army paint here, but I'll be honest, I am on the other side of town from everything, and going over there is just not in my gas budget. So these are washes I've had for a little bit.
Yeah, all the armor paint and stuff that I have is all stuff from Moose.
He stopped painting, or
he got it cheap. So, and then when I needed to start painting, he's like, "Well, you can use my stuff." Like, okay, if you need it, let me know. He's like, "Probably won't." Okay.
That sounds like Moose.
Mm-hmm.
Moose is very easygoing from everything I've experienced with Moose.
Yeah, him's cool.
And I gets to do stuff in May that I'm excited about for him and Claire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still under a death penalty right now if I do something.
I mean, and once again, I love you, Hewitt. That is a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I know, but that I am not, so I will not be. Not during the ceremony. I am not that brave of a man, nor that dumb of a man.
I like my backup plan, where you the first two words out of your mouth are in Latimer's voice, and you just kind of clear your throat and go, "Oh, sorry about that."
I am not fucking up Claire's wedding.
But you could.
Yes, but I don't. I'm not going to be like in Jurassic Park asking, can I? I am very much going with the statement of should I? And the answer
It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Not at a wedding.
Hey.
Not at a wedding. I am not as adorable and lovable as the two of you. Also, Kyle, I'm not making Mish mad because I don't need my wife, your wife, and Claire angry at me. This is how I disappear. Dang it, I need that.
Especially at the event that increases their number by 1. That increases the wives by 1.
Yeah, that this is a foolhardy thing to anger that many. Cannon could do it. But that is because he is Cannon and he can just leave. Let's be fair though, Miss Tracy probably would have his ass though. The question is, would he care?
What I missed? Would who care about what?
I said Cannon might be able to get away with it, but I think Miss Tracy would have his ass. But the question is, would that affect him in any way?
Nah, it might.
I mean, it's to quote the great prophet Ron White. I don't know how many it's going to take, but I know exactly how many they're going to use. And that is a very helpful piece of information.
So, on a completely separate topic, so the costume shop down here is apparently going out of business again. So they're selling their costumes at rental prices.
What did you buy?
I am
something pretty.
I am started and I am in need of, but me and Mish are in need of Ren Fair shit. So we decided to go check. We decided to go check it out and see what they had. Give me 2 seconds.
It's dope.
Yeah. I may have spent a little bit too much on Ren Fair last year because I just realized my mic was up above my head. I may have spent a little too much at Ren Fair last year because I bought a fur cloak type thing.
So we got this for Harley. Let me get that light back on.
Nice.
So we got that for Harley. So she's super stoked about that because it's got kind of a corset top on it. I got this.
Ooh. Fancy.
It comes with a belt. This thing is crushed velvet. Very nice. Needs a little bit of love, but all in all, I am happy with it. But the best thing was the first thing that we bought.
Nice.
So this is looking. So looking it up. Looking it up, it is a that is a musketeer tabard from apparently specifically from the Man in the Iron Mask. That's where the black one comes in. The traditional Three Musketeers style one is obvious. It's actually red. Unlike in the Disney movie where it's where they're blue. So yeah, I now have 2 kits that I need to put together. I have to put together a is it 7? I think it's 1740 or 1840 French musketeer outfit.
1740.
So I need a pair of boots. I have my wrestling boots. My wrestling boots would be fine. I need a pair of cavalry gloves, the long cuff gloves, and I need what I'm probably going to drop the most coin on, which is I need a cavalier hat, as well as a rapier, which honestly is probably not going to be too hard to find. And then I have the English one that I can do with the other tunic that I bought. And that comes with a really nice belt, an actual leather belt.
What's funny is all the stuff you're looking at Ren Fair, I was like, well, we might come down once I know the dates again, and depending on
It's January.
Okay, that might be. Oh shit, that's right after Christmas. Might be able to pull that off. Might be able to.
I mean, and they did 4 weeks this past year or this year. They're looking at extending it out to 6 weeks next year.
Nice. So it's something maybe, but I looked at putting together a kit, and it's like I know our people, and it's like, oh, those are some folks are putting. What is you going to do? I'm going to find the most regular, common ass clothes and just show up.
I mean, that's what I did last year. Apparently, from what I understand, a lot of the Ren people are using scrubs for the pants.
They sound comfy. I found a pair of tie fishing pants that I might use.
So I need but I need to look into once I have the money, I need to potentially contact one Rebecca Harrison for a hat to do.
It will be a very pretty hat.
It will be a glorious hat. Black leather hat with silver trim to match the tunic.
A most excellent hat.
Wait, who?
Yes. Rebecca Harrison.
Becca.
Oh, okay.
Like ASI Becca. XASI Becca.
XASI.
Yeah, because ASI isn't really a thing anymore.
This is true.
That's what I mean by XASI.
I thought that they had started something up in the areas in the Gettysburg, but I wasn't sure. I don't know.
It's small scale, just pretty much just them two.
Yeah.
Going to conventions and stuff like that. They're dipping their toes back into the steamy water.
That's nice. I have not heard much from them because I think I got roped into the side of something without even knowing it.
So yeah, January. What the hell is it called? Hang on,
Lafayette.
I'm doing.
Is it Lafayette Ren Fair?
No,
Is it Ren Fair of Acadiana?
no.
I remember seeing stuff about it last year.
Acadiana Renaissance or Acadiana Renaissance Fit.
Hey, I was close.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I think most of these are done. I just got to go make my Grody boys grody.
And they have a website. larenfet.com.
Yeah.
Renfet?
Yes, Fete.
I was about to say Boba Fett. Everybody's looking pretty good until I got to do the dry brush tomorrow.
Yeah. And this year they did. It was free admittance with a $50 VIP package that included a couple of like an event or two, and it also included basically you would get wooden tokens that essentially like in like $1 and $5 denominations that you could then use for vendors and shit that would then get cashed in to the vendors could cash out at the end of the week, at the end of the event. I got a buddy of mine that went out there and ended up selling cheesecakes, and he sold the shit out of them cheesecakes.
How much is it going to be this year?
They don't have any updates up yet. I know they were looking for potentially someplace in Lafayette because this is north of us in Opelousas. I know they were possibly looking for an area to do it in Lafayette. Because they want somewhere a bit more centrally located and easier to find. And that's like I told the guy running it. It's like, while I understand that, this is the property that it's on. It's like 4 acres, 4 to 6 acres of his family's property. So he owns it, which means, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. But that means you can build permanent structures there.
Right.
And I think the ability to build permanent structures out there for like pavilions and like a vendor street, essentially, with like an open air market with covers and pavilions and shit. I think that having that is going to outweigh somewhere more centrally located, because you will be freer to do. You can build a stage out there where you want. You can set up whatever you don't have to. You're not beholden to someone else because you're on someone else's land. You are on your land. You can do whatever the hell you want with it, and you can make it as big and as extravagant as you want.
Yeah, it gives them the possibility to build permanent structures and grow.
Yep.
And become a more successful event.
Correct. And it's one of the guys at one of the local card shops down here, a Cajun gamer, and like all of the people working it are either his employees or B, his regulars, like the magic guys, because they got a big commander group over there. It's them that are there running the shit and stuff like that. my boy Daryl is a member of that group, and he's the one who was out there selling the cheesecakes and stuff. So it's like I told Daryl, I was like, he needs to fortify where he's at, because he ain't gonna find nothing better than where he's at. And Lafayette's gonna bleed him, and Lafayette is literally gonna bleed him dry, because for events like that, if you find somewhere willing to let you do it, they're gonna charge more than a premium for it.
Yeah.
And I know this for a fact from being involved in professional wrestling. You can find a slightly bigger building outside of Lafayette for less money than you can a smaller building inside Lafayette. And this is just an open building.
Oh, I'm glad I decided to add Nurgle rot on top of all this. Because when Nurgle rot starts to dry, the technical paint, it looks like an old, angry scab, or old, angry, festering, infected wound.
Nice.
I might have to bring the camera over here just to show these guys off in a second.
Or bring them to the camera.
That is probably a smarter idea.
That is why you keep me around. That and my dulcet tones.
Yeah, you're easy on the eyes.
And my ability to work Meatloaf into a closing at the drop of a hat.
I still love when someone asks me, why do you do that? And I'm like, we just do. I don't. What does it mean? I have no clue.
I mean,
I'm just happy it's not like a double entendre.
It's pretty self-explanatory, dude. Just don't let your meatloaf.
And don't let your carrot stick.
I mean, it's along the same lines.
Oh my God, they're so gross. I love them.
Yep.
All right, so let me do this. And I'm going to bring something over here by the... Oh, no.
Stuffing things.
Stuffing things. Placing stuff. So, let's see. I don't know if that is coming in or not. Is it still blurry or is it clear?
It's okay.
But that's the column that's just a bit of terrain, which doesn't have to be super great. I'm happy with my Sphinx. She is still drying. She'll get some highlights.
Very nice.
Blink dogs ain't nothing to... Okay, I'll show you this one because I just like the warp effect in the back. That is not visible at all.
It's dark, but you can kind of make it
out. The hunter guys are too dark to show up, but here are my grody wads of chewing gum.
Very nice.
I think these are done minus clear coat. I don't think that needs any highlights. I just kind of like that grody. Just, Emily's going to hate these.
Which, I mean, if we're being honest, is like 40% of the reason to do them.
Partly. Oh, I've been forbidden from buying a mini. Not that I would because of the price.
Which one?
The Elder Brain Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
From Fizzbands.
Mm-hmm.
They have made a full-size scaled version of one the size of a ancient green dragon.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, if you weren't $100, I would buy you. Because that would go into a game so quick.
Yeah, that's like I told me it's like if in the course of our game, if I tell you I need how much is it exactly? Come on, you can do it. Like if I say I need like $250, I need if I say I need $150, after a session, just suck it up and start rolling a new character, because that's when I buy Bellacore.
All right, the puppy's up.
Yeah, Puffy.
Yeah. She wanted attention.
Oh. Anyway, guys, it's 10:30. I got to get kids ready for diagnostics next week. And spend a little bit of time with my wife before bed, so.
Yeah.
Knox, I will see you tomorrow night. Chris, I need to drag you into something sometime this week, some type of game.
I will watch y'all tomorrow night.
Cool. if I can somehow bribe Knox and Moose to be free Wednesday, we might have to kidnap you to make you go on a date with us with Cthulhu. Because
okay.
we have the dating sim Suckers for Love.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to highly depend upon what we do as far how work goes.
Yeah, I know. That's the only reason we haven't. We're on the second date with Haster. So until Knox and Moose's work schedule is more friendly, we don't get to do that or try to date Neanotep.
Yeah.
So, but we should try to do that. Let's see. I did all the game stuff earlier, so I'm not going to do it again. Socials are we are Team Bonus Action on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. We are at bonus_team on Twitter. I did it right. We will be having some charity events coming up soon. Right now, we are currently at 20 out of $500 goal for St. Jude's, which will last until Halloween, the 31st of October. And then we will switch to Extra Life for the last 2 months for the Children's Miracle Network. So if anybody can donate, we would greatly appreciate it. Any and all funds will go directly to St. Jude so we can help kick childhood cancer's ass. And I will always, I feel like that needs to be a t-shirt. Help St. Jude kick childhood cancer's ass. But since Knox is actually here,
we appreciate y'all hanging out with us this evening, and tune in next time for more shenanigans. And I think next Sunday we're doing help come and help me build my world. So I look forward to that. So until next time, folks, don't let your meatloaf.